let's just have a very quick look at what's gone on today. My one regret is not taking the pound yen off of this extension. Talked about that on the pound US. This was slightly better, marginally better on than the pound US. So this pound yen just basically just retraced, dropped down to as low as 55, around about the 50 mark. So very close to a nice round number. And then back up to a high of 183. So from the high to the low there was 130 odd pips. But if you, this is the kind of thing where you might want to consider putting an order in the book, because an order in the book for 70, or even with a simple small position, 20 pip stop, and then you've got close to 100 pips. So you have got 100 pips from that pullback into, that's what I should have done. I regretted that. And you can see, but it was really choppy in the open trading range. We break out of it in the open, we go back into it, we break out of it, really all over the place, and got close to the gap fill up there. DAX was no better really, and so in the end I was too bullish in the open. Look, we were above the 15-minute 200. We closed higher. We looked as if we could go back to 100, and we just rolled over. And then at 10:30, 11:30 time, just began to grind higher. And all I ended up doing was just scalping. Just a couple of these little moves. A, to make up for my losses, and B, try and top the account up. Then in the end, I got a few quid out of it. What I ended up with close to, okay, I thought I had more than that, 80 quid. So really, and it ultimately goes back to the top of the range at 74. I didn't catch that. I took it off around about the 30, 35 mark. So I missed that last little leg up. And the Dow, I got a few quid out of that, didn't I? Yeah, 63 quid out of this one. This was a gear, okay, benefit hindsight, but it's a nice drop. Let's come out of this, get rid of these fibs. A nice drop off resistance. So 388 was a tough line, and we ended up with a low of 227. We got a sell signal there at 2:15, just before the market's open. Another 30 minutes of selling, an hour of buying, and then another hour of selling. So it's really all over the place at the moment. And again, yeah, that's the point I want to make, the fade. I said to you in the Skype room, I always take fades. It's one of my rules. Well, this, I wasn't around for this. I'd finished up by then. But just as London closes, we get back into, what, 330 mark, and we end up with a low 230. So there's 100 pips in the fade. And if you look at the fade on the DAX, I took 40 pips on the fade of the DAX. Over traded this one, really. Goes right into the 44 floor of the range at 130, and then comes out for 40 to 50 pips, and then finally picks up on a little 5-minute buy signal there into there. So really, really choppy. So let me just pause this a second and get the other time frames up here. Okay, so this is what we're one of the mistakes I made on the DAX this morning was not having the fibs on this 60-minute chart, which is a bit stupid considering that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So as soon as I put it back, I realised why we were selling at these highs, because it just, that's the beauty of the fibs. It just highlights all the history, recent history to the left of the chart, and of course, but it was, I think it was a legitimate long from the point of view that we had all moving averages underneath us and the Sunday open underneath us, but obviously the market thought that was too expensive. Okay, so but the reason for the long was the fact that we came in on this key support from Friday. Oh, that's why I've got that line down there, isn't it? Yeah, I had the fib support down here at 953, which we got very, very close to. And that eventually took us back up to the highs, back up to the top of the range. So yeah, it's a pretty pathetic. Here we are, 2 days into the week, and if you look at the daily, it's pretty pathetic. Sideways. We're coming under this apex, so I'm guessing that if we get another little dip close to 900, that we could find our way punching higher as we get to non-farm payroll. But that at this stage, it's only a guess because we've got to cross over the moving averages. I mean, the weekly suggests we need a pullback, as I was saying last week, to the 700 mark. So that's still a possibility. It's hard to see the non-farm payroll number being a bad one, and there's not a lot of other data this week. So let's just cut across to the pound yen. So that's a flat finish on this daily, sitting up high on the weekly. The lows are getting bought and the highs are getting sold. So if really hard to find anything that's worthwhile. Oil was good. I missed this buy signal down here at 1 o'clock. So yeah, it's a decent push from 57.10 roughly to 58. So not a lot of points. So I think when we come to the screens tomorrow, I will still be looking to short the pound highs. I still think overall that this daily is potentially going to roll over. It may be that once all this Brexit's over and done with, we get some kind of deal. Maybe we'll pop up a little higher back into this high here, 136.65 or higher, maybe 138. Maybe we'll sell out at that point. So if that's the case, we need to think about buying the pullback, see if we can get up there and then get short higher up. So the pullback down there would be roughly 133. Okay, but we are sideways with no significant moves coming up. Data tomorrow. Aussie GDP overnight. Very little in the morning, and then the first taste of jobs data at 1:15, and then CAD rates tomorrow. So I think we're going to see more of the same tomorrow. I don't think there's anything there that's going to shake the market out. Thursday is not great either. Weekly jobs, Strahi at 4 o'clock. Very little data Thursday morning. I've got a horrible feeling we're going to be chopping around for the rest of the week until we get this data out of the way. And then Friday morning, manufacturing production for the UK, and then we're looking for that's going to be significant. The average earnings month on month, if that pops up, even if we meet expectations of 0.3, that could see some dollar strength. So I haven't looked at the euro, have we? Because the euro, to me, maybe that is really on the line. We've hit this resistance up here and beginning to just eking lower. So I think I would definitely look for 850, a short for 850 tomorrow on that one. That might be the one to keep our eyes on. All right, so hope that helps, and see you in the room tomorrow.